Okay, what if you could rent a family? And I don't mean for a movie set, I mean for your actual life. We're about to dive into one of the most unusual and, surprisingly human businesses in the entire world, and it comes straight out of Japan.
Just let that sink in for a second. Imagine your father, your best friend, all the guests cheering at your wedding. What if their presence, their support, their affection, all of it, came with an invoice at the end of the day?
That's a real quote. It's from a man who has been a paid stand-in father for a 12-year-old girl for her entire life. This is not some crazy movie plot. For him, it's a job. And it's at the very heart of this bizarre but absolutely booming industry built on rented relationships. So, let's pull back the curtain on the world of rental family services. This is a whole industry built on fulfilling one of our most basic human needs, connection, but for a fee. It sounds completely unbelievable, right? But in Japan, this isn't just a weird idea, it's a real, thriving marketplace. Here's the basic pitch. If there's a gap in your social life or your family life, there is a company that will fill it for you. Need to impress your boss with how popular you are? No problem. You can literally rent friends to pose for Instagram photos with you. Is your child getting bullied at school for not having a dad? You can hire one. It's a solution that at first glance seems totally wild. So this leads to the huge question. Why? Why would anyone actually pay for this? Well, the answer goes really deep into the fabric of Japanese culture, and honestly, it touches on something we can all understand: pressure. You see, in Japan, there's this immense cultural weight placed on maintaining appearances, what they call saving face. There's a right way to do things, you know? A wedding should look full and happy. A family should look complete. But at the same time, the old social safety nets are fraying. Those lifetime jobs that created family-like bonds, they're becoming less common. And more people are living these isolated lives in big cities. This has created a really painful gap between how life is supposed to look and how it actually is. And this quote just hits you right. It shows the human side of it all. This isn't just about vanity. For a lot of these clients, these services are a desperate solution to profound loneliness or crippling social anxiety. It's literally a last resort when the world's expectations just become too heavy to carry all by yourself. All right, so we get the human need. Now, let's talk business. How do you turn this deep emotional need into a structured, profitable service? Because let's be real, wherever there is a strong need, there is always a market waiting to be built. The services they offer are incredibly specific. Each one is laser-focused on solving a very precise social problem. You don't have enough guests for your wedding, you can hire actors to fill the seats, and they will applaud like they've known you forever. Feeling lonely and just need someone to listen to you without judgment? You can rent a platonic companion for a couple of hours. And get this, it is not a cheap service. That number you're looking at, 20,000 yen, that's the starting price to hire just one person to attend a wedding. We're talking about roughly 130 US dollars. This is a premium solution for what feels like a very high-stakes problem. And the business model itself is just brilliant. It starts with that base fee, right? But then you have the add-ons. You want your fake colleague to give a heartfelt speech about your incredible work ethic? That's going to be an extra 10,000 yen. The client covers all the expenses, travel, everything, and there's almost always a 2-hour minimum. It's a highly structured, totally scalable business built on performance. Okay, so it's really easy to look at all this and just write it off, right? Like, oh, that's just a weird thing that happens over in Japan. But what if I told you that the core psychological trigger that makes this entire business work is something you probably experience every single day? Seriously, think about that Netflix or Spotify account you keep paying for, even though you barely use it. That little hesitation to cancel, that feeling that it's yours, that's the key. That feeling is a well-known cognitive bias, and it's the same engine powering this rental family business. This psychological quirk has a name. It's called the endowment effect. And put simply, it means our brains automatically place a higher value on things just because we feel like we own them. It doesn't matter if it's a coffee mug somebody gave you, a personalized playlist, or even a relationship we've invested time and emotions into. Once it feels like ours, we become terrified of losing it. So let's connect the dots here. On one side, you've got the rental family in Japan, which solves for deep loneliness and social pressure. On the other side, you've got digital subscriptions, which are huge in places like Indonesia. They seem totally different, right? But nope. They are both powered by the exact same human driver. Once we invest our time and our emotions, we create a sense of ownership that is incredibly difficult to break. Just look at this data from Indonesia.
Over a third of digital subscriptions are for video streaming. Now, why do people stay subscribed for so long? It's because they've invested time building their watch lists, creating profiles, getting those personalized recommendations. That service starts to feel like theirs. They have endowed it with a value that goes way beyond its monthly price tag. And that right there is the mind-blowing parallel. After months, maybe even years of shared experiences, emotional investment, and manufactured memories, even if they were all scripted, that rented father starts to feel real. The client develops this powerful sense of ownership over that relationship, and letting go feels like a genuine, painful loss, all powered by the exact same psychological bias that keeps you subscribed to that streaming service you never use. So what's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean? Well, for one, it forces us to completely expand our definition of what a business can even be. We tend to think about business as selling products, tangible services. But this is a business that literally sells the feeling of belonging. This quote from one of the industry's pioneers really says it all. These businesses don't just pop up out of nowhere. They thrive in the empty spaces, in the cracks where society has failed to meet our most fundamental human needs. They are, quite literally, a market response to a social deficit. And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. This bizarre business isn't just some Japanese curiosity. It's a mirror. It reflects a universal human truth about our deep, desperate need for connection. So the real question is, if you can build a business on loneliness, what other billion-dollar opportunities are hiding in plain sight, disguised as simple human problems?